On the 13th of July, 2024, at 6:05 p.m., former U.S. President Donald Trump takes the stage at a rally, only days away from accepting the official Republican nomination.
Hello, Butler, and hello to Pennsylvania. I'm thrilled to be back.
Only 10 minutes earlier, at 5:52 p.m., the Secret Service is notified of a suspicious person hanging around a building where local police are stationed. That person, later identified as 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks, would change the world by attempting to assassinate former President Donald Trump.
Take a look at what happened.
But how does a former U.S. president almost get assassinated in broad daylight? Was it an inside job? Or did the Secret Service completely fail to protect a former president? Let's take a look into how this all unfolded. The day before the shooting happened, on the 12th of July 2024, Thomas Matthew Crooks, the shooter, attended Clairton Sportsman's Club, a gun club about a 25-minute drive from his house, which both he and his father were members of. It's then reported he practiced firing for some time before heading home. The next morning, it's reported Crooks drove to the rally site and scoped out the area for 70 minutes, before making the one-hour trip back home to pick up his father's AR rifle and return to the rally site. On his way, he stops at a Home Depot to buy a 5-foot ladder and a gun shop to buy 50 rounds of AR ammunition. Once returning to the rally, he parked the car, with an improvised explosive device hidden in the trunk that was wired to a transmitter he carried, which we'll touch more on later in the video. At 5:10 p.m., local police first see Crooks, roughly the same time this video was taken of him outside the perimeter of the rally, next to the building he would later climb. 20 minutes later, at 5:33 p.m., former President Donald Trump's motorcade arrives as the crowd eagerly awaits. Pennsylvania is one of 6 vital swing states that should help Trump secure the win in the next presidential election. At roughly 5:47 p.m., Pennsylvania State Police notify the Secret Service of a suspicious person and share a photo of Crooks. Counter-snipers are then alerted, but officers lose sight of him. Moments before Trump walks out, you can see counter-snipers on the roof facing opposite directions, presumably scouting the area. Former President Donald Trump takes the stage at 6:02 p.m., with his team not being informed about the suspicious sighting. Two minutes before the first shot, at 6:09 p.m., a counter-sniper on the building closest to the shooter's location adjusts his position.
Something going on. Something's going on.
And on the ground outside the perimeter, people start reacting to movement on the roof of a nearby building.
Look, they're all pointing.
And you can see a uniformed officer walking towards that location.
Yeah, someone's on top of the roof. Look. There he is right there. Right there, see him? He's laying down.
Only 10 seconds later, the other counter-sniper team on the opposite roof turn around 180 degrees to face the shooter's building. And on the ground, spectators alert law enforcement.
Officer, people in our country that shouldn't be here. Dangerous people. Criminals. We have criminals. We have drug dealers. We have people that should not be here.
Right on the roof.
Seconds later, another video shows officers walking backward trying to see the shooter on the roof, with a spectator pointing to his location. At that same time, these photos capture 2 counter-sniper teams, aiming in the direction of the shooter. The crowd outside the perimeter starts running away as they realize the danger. While on the other side of the field, one of the snipers can be seen peering through his scope in the direction of the shooter.
And you know, that's a little bit... He's going down!
Seconds later, Crooks fires at Trump.
Take a look at what happened.
Trump gets hit in the ear, missing what would have been a lethal shot to the back of his head as he turned to face a graph on his right. The shooter, Thomas Matthew Crooks, was taken out almost instantly from when he fired the first shot, but was still able to unload a handful of bullets in Trump's direction. With one killing 50-year-old volunteer fire chief, Corey Compertor, and wounding 2 other spectators, David Dutch and James Copenhaver. With Trump's stage microphone still on, we can hear the tense exchanges among the agents.
Turn around to the spare. Move to the spare. Hold. When you're ready. On you. Ready. Move. Move. Go.
About 42 seconds after Crooks opened fire, they confirmed the shooter was down.
Are we good? Shooter's down. Are we good to move? We're clear. We're clear.
They prepare to escort him to an armored vehicle.
Come on.
Let me get my shoes.
I got you, sir.
Let me get my shoes, sir.
Hold that in your head, bloody.
So we gotta move to the bus. Move to the bus. Let me get my shoes.
Okay, shoot down.
Watch out.
Wait.
And about 75 seconds after ducking to the ground, Trump raises his fist and mouths the words, "Fight, fight, fight," with these iconic photos being captured and quickly traveling around the world. The crowd starts to chant for the former president as he leaves the stage bleeding after being shot. He's then rushed to his motorcade and makes his way to a local hospital as news outlets around the world report on what just happened.
Good evening. We are coming on the air with breaking news. There has been an incident at Donald Trump's Pennsylvania rally. It appears shots have apparently been fired and Donald Trump has been injured.
In the early hours of the next morning, he arrives back in New Jersey, stepping off Trump Force One and appearing to be well. But to fully understand how such a disaster happened, we need to dive into the evidence surrounding the actions of the Secret Service and their failure to protect former U.S. President Donald Trump. But before we do that, let's understand who the shooter, Thomas Matthew Crooks, really was. Thomas Crooks was from Bethel Park, Pennsylvania, about 43 miles or 70 kilometers from the site of the attempted assassination. He worked in a local nursing home kitchen where staff members say he had passed all background checks and raised no concerns. In 2022, Crooks graduated from Bethel Park High School with a prize in maths and science,
Thomas Crooks,
but was rejected from the school rifle team for having a comically bad aim. He also appeared in a commercial for an investment company, BlackRock.
Decreasing.
He had a membership at a local shooting club, the Clairton Sportsman's Club, for at least a year with his father, Matthew Crooks. Both his parents, Matthew Crooks and Mary Crooks, hold active licenses as professional social workers and counselors, begging the question of how they didn't notice any strange behavior leading up to the assassination attempt. Police and agencies investigating are still yet to identify any sort of motive. Officials briefed on the shooting were told he had visited the site of the attack at least once in the days leading up to the assassination attempt, and had used his phone to search for symptoms of a depressive disorder, as well as images of both Donald Trump and President Joe Biden. State voting records show that Crooks was a registered Republican and donated $15 to liberal campaign group Act Blue in 2021. Beyond that, details on Crooks and his family have so far been elusive. Unlike many gunmen who have carried out attacks on schools, nightclubs, and businesses, Crooks did not appear to leave a trail of clues into his mindset on social media, nor did he leave any apparent manifesto. Despite being flagged as a suspicious person, Crooks managed to approach within 410 feet or 125 meters of the stage where Donald Trump was speaking, armed with an AR-style rifle, raising serious concerns about the effectiveness of the Secret Service. In a video released to the public, you can see special agents standing next to Crooks' lifeless body, talking about how this was the person that had been identified earlier.
So we don't know. So this is the guy
Yes, that they sent yes, Beaver County sniper team and sent the pictures out. This is him.
Okay.
Oh, 1 second. I believe the sniper that seen these and sent the pictures is right inside his building. Michelle, is Greg in there? That's the sniper that sent the original pictures and seen him come from the bike and then lost sight of him. He's the one that sent the pictures out. I don't know if you got the same ones I did.
I think I did, yeah.
So we had the picture of that.
I got that.
Okay, and then this is his bike with the stuff. Okay.
You can also see the AR rifle and an officer leaning down to take batteries out of a remote detonator, allegedly connected to a bomb in Crooks' car. The FBI reported that they had recovered explosive materials, ammo, and a bulletproof vest inside the 20-year-old's car, which was reportedly parked only 1 mile away. This has obviously sparked online theories as to a potential master plan, and that Crooks' assassination was not his only plot that day. In a Congress hearing, former U.S. Secret Service Chief Kimberly Cheadle was asked how Crooks was able to get so close to the former president.
Director Cheadle, is there a standard perimeter that the Secret Service establishes around an event, or are those perimeters independently determined per event and scenario?
There is no standard. Every event and every venue is different and treated as such.
You established earlier that the building upon which the shooter operated from was outside of that established perimeter, correct?
It was outside of our secure perimeter, yes.
How far away was that building from the president?
It was approximately 200 yards.
200 yards. Now, the individual used an AR-15 in order to act out his assassination attempt. An AR-15 has a range of about 400 to 600 yards. My question, why is the Secret Service protective perimeter shorter than one of the most popular semi-automatic weapons in the United States?
There are a number of weapons out there with a number of ranges. Again, an advance was completed. The determination of the perimeter, I'm not going to speak to specifics, but there are a number of factors that are taken into account.
So what I'm hearing is that a perimeter was not established outdoors that would prevent an AR-15, which is one of the most common weapons used in mass shootings.
Cheadle was also grilled by Congress over avoiding questions they had for her.
Say, Director, we're pretty close to the halfway point during this. You answered more questions with an ABC reporter than you have with members of Congress. So we have a lot more questions. The American people are demanding that we get answers to those questions. And I strongly implore you to answer those questions. You're here with a subpoena, and we expect you to answer the questions.
Cheadle formally resigned only a few days later after Congress admitted they didn't feel safe under her watch. At the time of making this video, we still have limited information on Thomas Crooks and the catastrophic failure of the Secret Service that day. But how does a seemingly normal 20-year-old bypass arguably the pinnacle of protection with an AR rifle, a ladder, and then able to unload bullets only feet away from a former president? Well, multiple theories claim that the security failure was intentional. An Instagram post from far-right Republican candidate Valentina Gomez says she was in the stands behind Trump at the rally and believes his security was compromised leading up to the shooting. This claim has been backed up by the Secret Service, saying they weren't able to get a clear shot of the shooter or have officers on the roof as it was too sloped. In our opinion, judging from the video of the officers standing next to Crooks' body, this is complete. It's also been widely thought there was a second shooter. Two high-level employees from the National Center of Media Forensics analyzed the audio from the shooting and determined there to be 9 shots, the first 3 being consistent with weapon A, the next 5 to be consistent with weapon B, but the alleged final shot coming from weapon C, obviously raising the question whether weapon C was from another shooter or the Secret Service. The Washington Post also had sources saying there were 10 shots in total, with 2 of those shots coming from different directions. Another question that remains unanswered surrounds the apparent bomb in Crooks's car. After he was killed, a remote detonator and his phone were recovered next to him, with reports saying a bomb was later found in his car. This bomb was also alleged to be too complex for Crooks to make himself. What do you think really happened? Was Trump's assassination a catastrophic failure on behalf of the Secret Service? Was it an inside job? Or was this all for attention leading up to the election? From an outside perspective, it's hard to comprehend how the Secret Service failed so badly and makes you wonder if this was an inside job. The inability of the agents to not take out an obvious threat, the failure to secure an area that had a clear line of sight to the former president, the comical Congress hearing of the former chief of the Secret Service, and all other evidence and lies that are slowly coming out makes you wonder, was this an inside job? Either side you're on, there is no excuse for political violence in any way, shape, or form. Campaign rallies should be a safe event for all, and there should never be any chance of violence. May Cory Compertor rest in peace, and the world stand together to stop these acts.